A few years ago, I was going through one of the lowest points in my life. I had just gone through a painful breakup with someone I thought I'd marry. Everything felt pointless. I was isolating myself, barely talking to anyone, barely eating, barely functioning. My days were all the same. Work in silence, come home, and crawl into bed. Weekends were worse. I'd lie on the couch watching movie after movie, and none of it even registering. One Saturday night, I was in my bedroom, which doubles as my personal entertainment space. TV, couch, everything. I wasn't even paying attention to what was playing. Just some generic horror film I clicked on randomly. The audio was horrible. Sound effects were obnoxiously loud. But I kept watching, mostly because I was too drained to change it. Then I noticed something odd. Every minute or so, I kept hearing this metallic clang, like a pipe striking concrete. It didn't fit anything in the movie. No metal props, no warehouse scenes. Just a weird, repetitive sound that made no sense. At first I assumed it was just part of the terrible sound editing, but it kept happening. The exact same clang, same volume, same pitch, too perfect to be a coincidence. Eventually, I paused the movie to get up and use the bathroom. But right as I was about to hit play again, I heard it. The clang. Except now, with the movie paused, I knew for sure it wasn't coming from the TV. It was coming from somewhere inside my house. I froze. I stayed completely still, just listening. About 45 seconds later, clang, clear as day. My heart was pounding. I grabbed the closest thing I could find. Kitchen knife and checked every room. Closet, hallway, pantry. The place was empty. Then I heard it again. But this time, quieter. It was coming from my own room. The room I had just left. That's when it hit me. The windows were open. It was springtime and I'd cracked them earlier for some fresh air. I moved toward the nearest window and pulled the curtain back slightly. And that's when I saw it. One of the deck chairs in my backyard had been placed right in the middle of the lawn. And standing next to it was a child, maybe 8 years old, just standing still in the dark, holding what looked like a PVC pipe. He wasn't saying anything. He smacked the chair again. My whole body tensed. Why was a child out there, alone, in the dark? He hadn't knocked, hadn't said a word, just hitting metal for nearly an hour straight. I tried to tell myself he was lost. Maybe he'd wandered off from a nearby house. But deep down, something felt off. Still, I couldn't just ignore a kid outside. I turned on the back porch light and walked downstairs, trying to stay calm. I told myself I'd open the door and ask if he was okay. But as I reached for the doorknob, I stopped cold. It felt wrong. If he needed help, why didn't he approach the front door? Why not call out? Why just hit a chair? I backed away slowly and went to a small side window that overlooked the backyard. And then I saw them. 2 men, dressed in black, crouching on either side of the back door, completely still waiting for me to open it. I hadn't made a sound, but one of them suddenly turned and locked eyes with me through the window. I dropped the blinds and sprinted upstairs, calling 911 on the way. A second later, I heard banging someone trying to break the back door in. Then footsteps. Inside, I locked myself in the bathroom and held my breath as they walked up the stairs. One of them tried the bathroom door, then slammed into it trying to break through. I yelled out that the police were on their way and then silence. By the time officers arrived, they were long gone. I told them everything, but I had no footage, no clear description, just a haunting memory. What really disturbed the police was the child. They told me criminals who used children in break-ins are often the most dangerous kind because it shows planning, manipulation, and a complete lack of conscience. They called it a random attack. I'm not so sure. That setup was too coordinated, too calculated. I moved shortly after. Life moved on. But I still think about that kid Dan. Whether he was a victim himself, or a part of something even worse.